All right, welcome back. So today we're going to go over a lower extremity workout that you guys can try at home. And so the introduction here, I'm just doing the lower extremity foam rolling. So if you're more interested in this topic and more in depth description, I have a video specifically on the lower extremity foam rolling series. So just mentioning some of this again, though. Basically, I start with my calves. I'll work up to my hamstrings. You'll see me kind of work on my quadricep group, T-bands, and hip rotators. But while that's going on, I kind of had the idea that I could do some of these like a body weight video first. Since I'm sure that most of you have at least that at home, all you'll need is a kind of a 6 foot by 6 foot space that you can kind of, make sure you get your workouts in, and there's really no excuses for not doing this one. Moving forward, I do have some other stuff here at my disposal. I'll probably show you a weighted vest one. So I have some medicine balls, some resistance bands, things like that I can go into. And then what I'm going to try and do is keep them in kind of a short 6 to 10 minute video series. And that way you guys can click on them, watch them. I'll try and get some different exercises in there that you may not be familiar with. And then we can kind of go from there. So as this is going, I'm still working on the editing part of these videos. That seems to be the hardest part. But I have in the bottom there, I'm going to try and change that description. So I'll have my foam rolling, and then you'll see the sets and reps will come up. But with the foam rolling, I always start off anywhere between 15 to 30 seconds on each body part, which usually adds up to about a 2 to 3 minute warm up, myofascial warm up, and then actually not shown, but I actually did it prior to this, is a 2 minute jump rope warm up. So anyone that has a jump rope, a length of rope, I've seen people use cable, like a tight cable for like a clothesline or something. Anything that or you could just jump in place. It's old school, but there's nothing wrong with doing 30 seconds of jumping jacks, 30 seconds of single leg hops on your left, 30 seconds of single leg hops on your right. And kind of going from there and just getting a 2 or 3 minute warm up in place, stationary, that kind of gets your heart rate up, your blood pressure up, gets blood flow to your muscles, and really prepares you for the physical activity that you're about to be doing. So this is the last. I usually end with this one for the lower extremity foam rolling. It's the piriformis muscle or hip rotators. It's really good for anyone that's had sciatica or experienced low back pain. Especially lumbar spine, low back pain, or any radiating pain into your knees or feet. This is a really good one. And even on myself, I noticed that this left side on me is much tighter and less mobile than the right. So that's something that I work on, whenever I can. So here, getting into it, we'll start off with body weight squats. As you can see, feet start off shoulder width apart, and we screw our feet into the ground. There's that muscle on the inside of my knee. It's called the teardrop muscle, or VMO, vastus medialis oblique. And that's a really important muscle for terminal knee extension and like locking the knee out. So by screwing your feet into the ground, you activate that muscle, which really helps with quad control and anything athletic and performance. So then we go into alternating reverse lunges. Key here is slow pace and maintain your stride length. Right here, you can see I start to creep backwards, and my form actually is not as good as I would like. So this is a learning moment for you guys, where I had it marked out where if I kept my feet at the edge of that black, I could keep a appropriate length. But when I started to creep backwards in my mind, I knew the wall was right there, and I just subconsciously was afraid of touching it, and that shortened my length, and I could see my form broke down. So those two are quad really exercises: quadricep, hip flexor, things like that. Here we get into hamstring strengthening. So we're alternate single leg RDLs or Romanian deadlifts. Slow and controlled, maintain your balance. I usually will perform these with some form of a weight, like a dumbbell, which keeps you about 3 to 4 inches away from the ground. When I'm doing these with body weight, I noticed that I basically definitely have a harder time balancing because neuromuscularly or muscle memory wise, I'm used to that 3 or 4 inches from the ground threshold. So you can see my arch muscles and calf really firing to keep that new range of motion to keep me from falling over. So realize that if you have trouble with these, just put a box in front of you and just touch the box at first. That's a good modification. Here again, we're working on hamstrings. So we're double leg hamstring curls with a towel. You'll see these pretty easily. So basically 4x10, after about 5 or 6 reps of these, you're going to feel them in your hamstrings and glutes. This is a really good exercise. It's a good concentric contraction on the way up, and you get a nice slow eccentric contraction on the way down, or negative contraction, which is a positive thing for muscle growth and injury prevention. This will help you prevent hamstring strains. So 4x10 of those. And then we've worked 2 for the quad, 2 for the hamstrings and glutes. Now we're going to go double leg calf raise. All right. So I tend to do these with a slightly flexed knee. Slightly is the key word there. So it gets more soleus and some gastroc, but it's more of a functional exercise. And I was having trouble with the text here, but I usually do 4x25 of these, especially with body weight. So no external weight or resistance, 4x25. And then not shown core work, doing planks, glute bridges, and side planks.